I'm just going to do a simple version of the commodities today. So with the government bonds here, the 10-year yields, we're looking at, well, an A and a B and a C wave here for wave 4, this wave 4 here. Now, the thing is I'm not really seeing impulse waves to the upside. This first little leg here appears to be in 3 waves. I know that this is in 3 waves here, that's pretty clear. So we could look at this as an A and a B and a C wave here to the 50-60% and then move down at that point. It would kind of be in line with the US dollar as well at this point, but it's not set in stone just yet. This little, I don't want to just depend it on one little tiny leg in here, because that could be a mistake, but we'll just observe the 5 waves moving up through here. So we should take out these highs here, but yeah, on the 15-minute chart for this perhaps, or 5-minute chart. So yeah, I was looking at this particular leg here of 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, a bit squashed up at the A, the B, and then 1 and 2, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the third, fourth, and fifth. That's how I've got the A, the B, and the C here. The rest of this structure here could be counted. Well, it could be counted. Well, in fact, because that's an ABC up there, we could look at this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, ABC back for 2, and then down again for 1 and back, but as an A and a B and a C, it's coming up quite high here compared to this and this, so it's probably needs to push up further, but it could certainly turn here as 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 here for this, but we'll just give it a bit of time. We're getting there. It'll corner itself in that space. So I just want to put this back to the daily chart here for a moment, and we'll need to look at some commodities in here. So the next move is the US dollar. So obviously the US dollar is trending down, and that can also, the yields could follow that as well. So from the top here, we've got wave 1 and 2, and 1 and 2, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the third, fourth, and fifth for the third, the fourth wave here, and then down for the fifth wave to make wave 1, and then wave 2 to come into play. So that's what we're sort of looking at here. It is possible when you look at the euro to look at this as the A wave over here for this, and a B wave down to here for this, even though it makes a new low. B wave can do that, and then have a C wave up here. Not that it's going to make a lot of difference, because it would still move up this way anyway, do you know? So in both counts, it's just that if it was a B wave down here, if it was a B wave rather than wave 5, then it will have a slightly different pattern. But if we take it as wave 4 for the moment and down to wave 5 here for wave 1, then we could look at this as 1 and 2, and then all the way down to 3 here, a little bit dodgy in here, you could call me out on that, and then an ABC for the fourth, which kind of satisfies the, the size and the visual perspective of wave 2 to wave 4 here. So then it's just really a matter of trying to see if this fits here as wave 1 here, an A and a B and a C for wave 2. It looks quite impulsive and quite strong. It's not lazy like a C wave should, so you could quite easily just push up here further. But we'll see if it drifts down into the previous low here, and then 2 and 3 and 4 and so on and so on. So we'll just see how that sort of plays out, but we'll just stay in line with the trend, which is down until proven otherwise. Because this is a corrective pattern here, we should be taking the low out here for that. So I just want to stay in this direction for the time being, and obviously that would be attractive for lower yields in that sense as well for that, and pushing that to a side. So then we come over to gold. Now there seems to be it's sort of same but different. The GDX and the gold stocks, they're probably exactly the same as US spot gold. I'm just not seeing it right, but with GDX here, we've been looking up as wave 1 and 2 and 1 and 2, and then building up as 1 and 2 and going up here higher into a third wave here. But I'm a little bit unsure about that, because when I look at stocks, stocks have got the 1 and the 2 here in many cases, not all cases. And then we're coming up for wave 1 in stocks here. So we haven't reached that wave 1 for stocks yet. So then it kind of makes me, obviously the GDX is, got gold stocks in it, But yeah, it's just not, just trying to find a chart on that, but it doesn't really matter. So you can have a look at the Australian video and have a look at GOR and Newcrest and NST, especially NST. We're looking at this as a wave 4 here with wave 1 and 2. So I think this wave 1 could still come into play here. So we'll just keep a bit of an eye on that. And that means that the wave 2 here. So this would be basically a wave 4 here. But in the meantime, we should continue to move up here, so that's not really a big deal. So from this low here, we've got 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5 here, 4, 1 and 2 here. It looks like a reasonable little impulse wave there, but I wouldn't hold my breath about it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we could go long above that. You could probably drop that down to the second high, but this wave 2 may not be finished. But if you're going to go for wave 3, that's what it would look like at that point. And then we would also look at this being wave 1 here as well for that, and wave 2 to pull back. So yeah, we can go long at that particular point. Do we need US spot gold to push up from that point? That's the other question about that too. So with US spot gold, it's there's some negative things and positive things. I mean, the negative thing is that it's quite messy, this particular pattern. The positive thing is that it has wiggled its way to find a reasonably nice support. It was resisted through here, you know, failed to hold up here and so on and so on. It's just traveling sideways, which is always a positive thing for further upside. And it's sitting, you know, it's come back and tested, because that's what a market does. It always tests the previous number, especially depending on the personality of that number, depending on, you know, if it's got how many zeros it's got on it, if it's odd or even and all those sort of things. But you know, even with this number here, you know, pushes up, they got to come back. So if it pushes up through it in one way, it'll come back and test it, unless it's in a parabolic trend. And the same to the downside, you know, if it goes through it, it will want to come back and test it. You know, it's just what it does, you know, like many things in nature. But what I don't really know is if that we're coming down from, if this move up here is some sort of wave B here and we come down for wave C here. If this market takes this top out here, then we know that we'll be going further up at that point. It just depends on how you want to count this in here, because I can just see that it can be counted in different ways, but whichever way you count it, not all the boxes of correctness are going to be ticked on all of that. As I've always said, is just to buy gold stocks and hold them, you know. But when I look at gold stocks, as I mentioned, I still feel like wave 1 needs to be over here, that we're not there yet for it. But I can see how this could work with wave 1 here and 2 here. I can see how it could work with wave 1 here, some sort of A wave, B wave up here, and a C wave down here. I can see that too. So I can see different ways that this could work. I don't have a strong opinion about it just yet as this, but I'm more focused on gold stocks, which I won't look at in this video. You can look at that in the Australian video. Silver. So the first thing I want to say for silver here is that we had a little long trade here. Now we're going to move the stock from down here to under here. Now, what I would do is, because this looks rather sharp here, and we could end up down here for this, it's not like we've got a beautiful 5 waves up here. It's possible. It's just not the best looking 5 waves. It looks like it's just 5 waves to here, then a correction, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I suppose you could push it into 5 waves. So if I was trading this, I would exit this now. I would remove this here, be in a small profit here, and then I'll look for the next trade set up and have another go at it, because I think there's risk here in this. I think that it should go up, but I want to protect that position here. I don't want something that I don't understand. I don't want to be exposed to something I don't understand, and taking the next logical step with what we'll do there in terms of taking a profit. It could easily go to the upside. Once again, you know, it's had the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level. It's had some type of correction here. I've just labeled it as an A and a B and a C here. But I don't particularly like spikes. I mean, if I just wipe that spike out, it'd be like this, wouldn't it? So then it'll be more like an A and a B and a C down to here, and then we've got this move up here. So this is why it can be a B wave up here. I wouldn't put too much emphasis on on gnarly little spiky things like that are driven out of right field. So yeah, we could come down as 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5 here for this. I really don't know. I don't know. But yeah, if I don't know, then I'll just pop back in my shell and chill. So that's silver. Crude oil here, just keeping things pretty simple. There's two ways we can look at this. We've had this, we were looking at, I mean, I originally counted this, oh, it doesn't really matter. Anyway, wave 3 here with an ABC for the A wave, an ABC for the B wave, and up for the C wave to make wave 4, and then down for wave 5. I don't particularly like wave 5 sitting here. It hasn't really penetrated this low of wave B here. Not that it has to. It's really about wave 3 over here. So in that case, it's quite good as a fifth wave. And you can see how, I mean, from this top here down to here, you can clearly see that we've got 3 waves here. This is what we're thinking about the US dollar doing the same sort of thing, and then going back up here and then drop. So we can have the 5th wave in here. So I was looking at this here. We've got to be careful that this is not wave 1 here with an A and a B and a C wave to here and then down. Okay, that's the other side of the coin here at this point. So I'll need to say that. We just need to work through things, and we can do things, and no point in trading long here right at the moment. But we do have a nice clean impulse here, and then here you can see we've got 1 and 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the 3rd, the 4th, and the 5th here. So there's the 3rd wave with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. The 4th wave pulling back to the 4th wave, 1 lesser degree. And then the 5th wave up here, it looks like it's got little 1, 2, 3, 4, I don't know, here, some other little move here. And then we're going to have some sort of ABC to come back here. So this is the one that we could trade at this point. Now, like I said, this could actually end up being wave A here. So I need to put that in there, and this, I don't need to put the B wave there just yet, but yeah, so I'll just take it from the 6.5 here, and wherever that goes at 7, I'll take it to 7.4. That's pretty roughly ready and even. So we could come back to there's two support zones when you look at these sort of things. One is the previous wave 4, and one is the wave 2 here. They're the supports. This one's never really strong, but you'll get a bounce off it because the 5th wave is on normally lower volume than the 3rd wave. But this is where and this can all be quite low volume too, actually. This is where the volume is in here. So that's where that will be, at this area through here. So we'll just chill. We'll wait for that to play out. It's the 7,000. We've got 1, 2, 3 of group 1 above here. So we'll just keep a bit of an eye on that. But it is a nice, reasonably nice impulse wave at this particular point in time. So we should be able to get from here somewhere. And look, it may fall short and, just plonk here. But then we still need to, this is where it can fail at this point, at that C wave there, So we can have a bit of a trade in here based on those 5 waves and get up to here somewhere, get out, and we'll just see what it looks like at that particular point in time, because that's where it can fail from. And with natural gas here, we were looking at this being from the low here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then an A and a B, and then looking down for the C wave here for wave 2. So we'll just play that out there. This looks, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1 and 2. Obviously, that's the 3rd wave. I'm not sure what this little bit in here is on the 5th wave. So it's still, I won't worry about this today, but I'll keep an eye on it in the during the week. And we want to be able to look to go long above here again somewhere, but just not yet. Or maybe I'm looking. Maybe that's the 1 and 2 here. Yeah, could be the 1 and the 2, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's probably it here. We'll just chill and we'll pick that up, cover that gap, so to speak. Should see something down here. It's right on the 61.8%, so that's, you know, I mean, it's a CFD product. We could rearrange it a bit, but anyway, we'll just give that some time. We can see that it's the top of the trend because you're getting this overlap here where there's no overlap in the middle of the trend. So we're at a top here somewhere, and we're also at group 1 as well. So, I mean, normally there'll be some sort of equality between this A wave here, this A wave, and wave C here. So it might be something like that. So what you might need to do is you could actually look to, we'll put that there, but then you could drop that down onto this high here. So if this drops, right, if this drops below here, then you can use this top to go long on. And you could improve on that if it came back up and gave you another little classic trading levels pattern in here. So you'd need to be go into a very small time frame to see that. But otherwise, the 61 point, it just seems a bit weird. It's such a long way away. I mean, the A wave was really quite short here, so the top of group 1 here is really hugging this. But anyway, support zone 1 here, support zone 2 here. We also want to have a look at the at the metals. So we look at the metals in the Australian video, but let's just have a quick look. So we've got copper stock. So we're looking at copper here. So this is the futures market here. We're looking at 1, 2, 3, and 4 here. So it's still holding up quite well, but it's not pushing to the upside. We're seeing softer commodities in the iron ore space. Obviously, precious metals are pushing up, but that's a different thing. We are seeing lithium move up quite nicely, I have to say. I think lithium stocks are the best trend at the moment. I mean, obviously gold's trending up, but I think gold is a little bit sort of toppy. So we need that to top and pull back, where lithium is sort of halfway through its current trend to the upside. But yeah, nothing really to do with copper here at the moment. Let me just have a little look at these guys. Yeah, we talked about this one here having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for the A wave, the B wave, and the C wave. I'm sort of pegging that low there and expecting it to move up from there. But yeah, so that kind of makes a nice 1, 2, 3, 4 here. Bit deep. So it can turn bearish. This could be down for 1, going back for 2, and then coming down for 3 again. So we'll just, I mean, I'd like to buy it, but I need a little impulse wave there to start it off with. So yeah, that's the low. So we'll probably look at this as wave 1 and 2 here, and 3 here, and ABC for 4. So if you're interested in this, you would need to have 5. Might take you to the 1500, might take you to 1480 here. Not quite sure, but somewhere here. And then you're going to have some sort of AB testing here, ABC testing, and then up at that point. So yeah, taking the B wave top out here. So you need that little 5 waves there. It's not, I mean, you could buy here and put a stop under here, but then you're left with 3 waves here. It's a bit of an issue, you know what I mean? It's like exposing yourself and not getting paid for it, you know? So FCX here. This has got a better little impulse wave. This is 2-minute chart here off the last low. So if you're following the stock, you'll know where we are with this. But yeah, that's impulsive. So good. It can certainly come back as an A and a B and a C, or it could just continue to the upside here. What you're looking for here, though, is you're looking for, I can just use this one here. 36, I mean, the levels, this is, when we're talking about 38, we can go group 2. So group 2 is 37.20, so 37.22.5 here, and then 30.65 number here. So the more that you can see the market being support on this level, then we're sitting in group 2. So that's you know, that's quite a powerful thing. Now, a couple of things could happen here. It could push up here and then come back and check it and then move off, and you can use that high. Or it could it could just, looking at this here, I don't know if that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a little bit sort of close here. It looks like it needs to go up, but it could come back here. And if it does come back here, then you'll have this this top here exposed, you know, this current top here. So then you could go long at that point, because this is the test. It's already tested once, which is nice. But, you know, will it do it again? Because again, no man's land here, you know, you might as well wait for something. But basically that 5 waves there makes the whole thing look quite promising at this point. Nickel's doing diddly squat, but we will look at it here. So this is, I better go to the daily chart first. So as you know, we've been looking at it as a possible wave 4 here, but with wave 4s, you know, we could get a triangle here, and that just becomes the A wave, and then the B and the C and the D and the E and all. I don't know how this is going to play out just yet, but if this moves down here and takes that low out here, then it will probably, normally it's this one, but if it takes that low out there, then it's a good probability that this will be an A and a B and a C up here. Yeah, so we'll see. It's a little bit hard to read that little one in here, but anyway, it's starting to, it's forming, and we're forming opinions about it. I did like this Australian stock here. It's funny, the nickel stocks are moving okay. It's just that the nickel's not moving. I don't know. So with this particular company here, we know that if I looked at the monthly chart, this would be a top of wave 5 here. But at the same time, I could also look at this as a wave from this low here, 1 and 2 here. And we've been talking about it for a long time, and it's only just lately, because we had 3 waves up here, and now we've got 5 waves up here. So this is really important. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. There'll be some fluffing around there. We're not going to worry about that, but we'll be focused on this wave 2 here. So that means we could buy that wave 2 low. We could build in through here, and we can build up through here, because that's what's going to happen. This is going to be 1 and 2, and we're going to be going up for 5 waves here. So this is looking really good, I have to say. But not ready yet, but it's confirming it's doing all the right things at the right time. So there will be other nickel stocks. I know that, let's just have a look at China for a moment. That should be pushing. Yeah, so that's pushing. We've got that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here that we noted before. We were looking at this as an A and a B and a C here. So yeah, nothing wrong with this. Obviously, we're quite late in the trend in this particular one. What's these other ones? Is it a Russian one? Is it? Yeah, ruble. So that's not sitting on the level, so I'm not going to worry about that. S32's got a whole lot of stuff going into it. I won't look at that. What's this one here? I don't know this one. It's on the euro side. I wonder where their minds are, what they're doing, who this is. Anyway, if you know this stock, then that's great, but the long trade is here above that high there. Vale's also got a lot of iron ore into it, so I'll leave that. And then, yeah, the lithium stocks has this little rare earth one going up here. We talked about this in the Aussie video. We've got this as a corrective pattern here as an ABC, then 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and one little third wave here. So this is going to continue to move up here. I mean, it could be up 10% and down 10%, this thing. So, but it's a hold, you know. I'd like to gather some more rare earths. Lithium stocks. So, we need to really start with the US, the PPL here. So what we've been looking at with this, for the folks that don't follow the Australian market, is that I understood on the daily chart here that this particular pattern at this particular point in time to here is corrective. Okay, now we've got this over here, which means that it could be corrective as well. So I could put this here as an ABC for the A wave, and then the B wave over here with an ABC here for this. And then coming down here for 5 waves, but I'm not really getting the 5 waves down here. I'm getting an A and a B and a C down here. And then I thought this might be the wave 4 and we'll drop from here. So all I was really looking for here is that if we get a move He just exaggerated a bit. You know, moves up above these highs here, then it kind of takes away this being a wave 4 here. It could be an A, B, C, D, and E here. I understand that. So we'll just lift this one up to over here. So I'll just move it out of the way for a moment. It doesn't really matter. So it could be a triangle pattern and then have another move down at that point. So a little move up and then this here for the wave 5. And then it'll have an A, B, C, and then it'll come down here, this sort of thing. So it's not, we're not out of the woods with this one just yet, but it has taken a turn to the positive, not just yet, but it's sort of looking okay, but it's not, certainly not confirmed at this particular point in time. But that said, when I have a look at some of these little Aussie battlers in here, like little Leo here for a moment, in Australia, we're getting this A, B, C business, then we're getting 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 to the upside. You know, we're getting that powerful move AKE here, same deal, you know, all these sort of stocks with the A, the B, and the C, and pushing into an impulse wave. So we've moved part. I haven't seen this one for a while. I'll talk about that one in the Australian video, but the A, the B, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So this is probably building as well. Sitting on the dollar here is fantastic. You're getting a classic trading levels pattern here for this. So it's probably wave 1 and 2, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So it's going to be a bit more fluffing around, but this is turning positive, and this would be a buy. So buying it anywhere you know, above the 88 would be fine. So if you bought it up here and it drops back, then just get some more. So that means that you just go in for a small amount. Liontown here is, you know, it's had bids against it. It's bullish. It's going to stall at $3 and fluff around here. So it's probably not the best buy. But still, I don't know what where the offer is on this, and they might jack that up. Who knows? I don't know. Pilbara here, we've been looking at this here. We've got this on another chart. We've been long in this one in a few positions through here, but this is the A, the B, and the C, and this is turning very impulsive here for this. Just want to have a look at China here, see if we can get off the lows here now. Nice bit of chunk of volume in here. I'd have to allocate that to bar, but it's looking okay. I mean, as soon as it gets back, or if it gets back on the 80 as support, that means we're good to go at that point. And this one here too. I mean, it's this number 65. It's a medium level. I mean, I just love this number. Not quite as much as 72, or most folks would go for 73 as the prime number. But this this 65 here, you know, I've obviously got history here, so that kind of supports my case a little bit. Not that I need to support my case, but yeah, so let's just see. We see this pullback here on this daily chart. We see it on lower volume. So that's a good thing. So we'll just wait. We don't need to do anything just yet. If we can see this as being, you know, a bit more of an impulse wave here as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here, then we'll get an ABC back, and then we'll push up. So if we can see, you know, we get that impulse. If we get that impulse wave, then that's going to be a turnaround for China in this instance. You know, we have been looking at China in terms of it's China here, the A50 here. We counted this is a daily chart, the top 50 stocks. We're looking at this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Looking at this as an ABC here. As I mentioned with this before, we're not really seeing a nice pattern, you know, progress here as an impulse wave to the upside. So I'm a bit dubious about it. Not totally sold on this being impulsive yet. Is this going to come down to here? Is this some sort of A, B, and C down to here? I'm not quite sure just yet. We know in the bigger picture for China on the indices here, which is important, I suppose, when we're looking at all of this. This is the Shanghai comp, so this is the one that analysts have used since day dot, really. So on the monthly chart here for the Shanghai, we've definitely got a bit like copper, really. And yeah, anyway, an A wave, a B wave, a C wave, a D wave, and possibly an E wave here. Now this E wave could just drop down to here and we have another move down here. I'm not quite sure just yet. I'm just still working on that, and that's why that A50 I just showed you, you know, not totally convinced just yet about that, but corrections are normally, all of this here is definitely a triangle pattern. It could be finished here, or we could get one more drop here. Time will tell. We just need to gather some more information. We are seeing some really nice volume come in with all of this as well. Generally speaking, triangle patterns will be on lower volume. Any correction will be on lower volume. But eventually this will move to the upside. It's because this is a bullish corrective pattern. So that's pretty exciting. I just don't know if we're going to get some sort of dip here for this and then up at that point. Not quite sure. But we're coming to the end of it, which is good, you know, and seeing this much volume come in here, we're not really seeing the market move based on that volume. And we know, you know, there's a lot of money moving out of China at the moment. We know that as well. But I know that with the, you know, when you get dictators and those sorts of things, then you end up with these big sideways patterns that go over years and years, you know, because they don't stimulate trade for themselves. You know, they never, you know, they've got a dollar edge, you know, they won't go into the currency thing with it, but I'll just leave it at that. But yeah, anyway, at some point we're going to see this take out this top here in a nice 5-wave move. Okay, so which is good for commodities, obviously, you know. So I will leave it all at that. Thanks for tuning in. Cheers.